Good afternoon, Highlands. I'm Sam Rosensteel here with Victoria Venegas. Welcome to another edition of Highlands Talk Live. Today we have a very special guest. You may know him as D-Lo from the Kiss 107 show. Welcome to Talk Live, Mr. D-Lo.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
So you are, you're D-Lo. You run the D-Lo show, and you pretty much run the entire Kiss 107 operation.
Correct. So I get to do all the fun stuff. So in addition to being on the air, I'm also the station manager too. So all the songs you love and hate, it's all my fault. I apologize or high five, whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's correct.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, so how'd you get your spot at Kiss 107?
Okay, you wouldn't believe it was like a gladiator match, right? And we had to it was crazy. They had this whole gladiator tour. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. That did not happen. There was no blood loss, nothing.
Oh,
no,
good.
it was
good.
Yeah, right. So that's good. No, it was just. Things come open in the broadcast industry, and anyone in the broadcast industry probably had to move about a bunch of times in their life because you just kind of go where the opportunities are. I compare it to like a football coach, if you ever talk to anyone who's they go to the different markets, they go to the smaller schools, and then they kind of build their critique up. Next thing you know, you're in the pros and you get to the bigger city. So that's kind of me. I kind of was around the areas. I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for a few years. I was in Memphis, Tennessee. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and then Cincinnati, which is like the big leagues, came calling. They're like, "Hey, we want you to do your show here." I was like, "Absolutely, I'm in. I'm all in." So it was pretty fun. So it's kind of a fun adventure, right?
Yeah. So how long have you been wanting to do this? What age did you realize you wanted to do broadcast?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something I don't tell anybody, but I started when I was almost like freshman year of high school. Right? Yeah. I would call up a local radio station. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, so the closest city to me was Pittsburgh. So I would call up the Pittsburgh radio stations, and I'd be like, and I used to play a guitar. And I would play a guitar over the phone, and I'd be like, "Hey, can you guess what song this is?" And then they'd be like, and then they would record it, and they'd play it back on the air, and be like, "Hey, if you can guess what song this kid just played," it was horrible, by the way. "If you can guess what song this kid just played, we'll give you a prize out of the CD bin or whatever." So that's how I got my start. I would just call up an annoy radio station and be like, "Hey, can I get on the radio?" So kind of did that, and then that kind of transitioned into an internship into college, and then then I was hooked. After that, I was like, I'm doing radio for the rest of my life. I don't care how much money I make. If I make enough to pay the rent and that's it, no problem. And I'll eat ramen noodles for the rest of my life because I've had so much fun doing it. So that's kind of my story in a small nutshell.
It's really cool. So that's kind of unconventional, but
yeah,
it's a way to get noticed.
Right. There's other people. If you got connections, it's all about making connections. So if you guys have connections in the broadcast, let me know. I want to get in. I can't wait. But yeah, definitely it's about networking, getting to meet people, that kind of stuff. So, and radio's so different. Like every day, I'm doing different stuff. Yesterday, I'm meeting with this person, and I'm talking about this. Like Chris Brown's coming at the end of the month, so I'm talking with his people about doing some cool promotions with my radio station, and there's so much stuff going on. But anyways, it's every day's different, and that's good. You'll never be bored if you work in the broadcast industry. That's one thing. So
that's for sure.
Yeah. But you. Who gets to ask?
I'll take it. I'll take it next.
Okay, then you better be. You have a good question for me. So I don't want no jank question. I want good questions. I'm just kidding.
You just mentioned Chris Brown's coming in at the end of the month. So you meet a lot of famous people doing this. And we were stalking your Instagram earlier. I hope you don't mind.
No problem. Who did we find?
We did find a lot of really cool famous people. I think we got Ellie Goulding up first. You met.
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Okay.
So tell me how you got to talk to her.
That was here in Cincinnati back in May when she came to the Horseshoe. She was a super sweet girl, like very British. And this was before the whole Ed Sheeran song came out. Yeah. That kind of dissed on her and everything like that. So, but she was super sweet. I had Cincinnati trivia with her. She didn't know what a three-way was. She didn't know what ghetto was.
Oh wow!
And she also, what was the last one she failed? I'm sorry, I can't think. But anyways, she failed Cincinnati trivia miserably. That was her first time to the city, but that was really cool. She got to hang out, and I didn't see her making out with Niall or anyone else in the hallway like Ed Sheeran says.
That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. Who do we have up next? We got
oh boy,
on
I'm
the
excited.
Instagram. Go ahead and take that up. Oh, Hilary Duff.
Oh,
How did you meet
she
Hilary
was
Duff?
so sweet. She was literally like one of the sweetest people I've ever met. She invited a bunch of radio programmers up to where was I? Chicago, and she was like, "Hey, I want you to hear my new songs, and I want you to give me feedback." So it was literally just like your friends,
cool.
yeah, right, kind of cool. Hilary Duff. I'm like, okay, so yesterday, and so I met her, and it was funny because I grew up in Pittsburgh, and she lived in Pittsburgh because her husband was a hockey player.
Oh, cool.
So we were kicking it, talking about that, and she like didn't want to stop talking to me. I was like, okay, hey, there's other people who you have for me, but no, Hilary's sweet as pie. I can't say
Oh my
enough
God,
good things
Hilary
about
Duff.
her. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did we get any more stalking? Heck yeah.
Nick Cannon.
And that was when he was still married to Mariah Carey, by
Oh,
the way.
my.
I want you to know
So-
that. Yeah, that was like a throwback. No, I was just at a random club in Atlantic City, another radio dorky convention thing. And then I see him. I'm like, "What's up, Nick?" And he's like, "What's up?" And then next thing you know, he's giving me his number because he wants me to listen to stuff. So I'm like, I don't know.
My.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much help I can do you, Nick, but can I meet Mariah?
Oh my.
No, but anyways, he was really cool. Met him at a nightclub, and he had a bunch of cool things going on. So yeah.
So let me ask you, how many
Yeah.
artists like actually come to you and ask for you to like preview their like
A
stuff?
lot.
Wow.
Like, I mean, all kind, and it varies. You know,
Yeah.
like I hate talking about me like this, but I guess that's what it's all about. Okay, so 2 weeks ago I was in Los Angeles, and we're at a radio convention, and we're hearing all these songs and stuff like that, and they're bringing out like all these artists, and next thing you know, someone gets up there for my friends over there at Def Jam Records, and he's like, "Okay, I want to bring out a really special speaker," and they brought out Kanye West, and so it's me and like 30 people and Kanye West, and I'm like, is this real? Like what? And he gets up there and basically tells us how we should all be running our lives. You know, he was Kanye. It's
Right, it's
Kanye
Kanye.
being Kanye. So
He knows
we got to go up there, and I got to watch that. I was like, okay, Mr. West. And then next thing you know, like literally, he played us this Rihanna, Kanye, Paul McCartney song called 4 or 5 Seconds, and we were all like, that's the jam, dog. That's the jam. And so literally 48 hours later, he releases the song just after our feedback from there, and we're actually playing it on Kiss, and it's just
That's insane.
it's going to be one of the biggest songs over the next couple of months. So,
So
anyway,
is
so kind of cool how like things like
Yeah, you got
bam, instant. It's
Yeah.
all instantaneous like that, right?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I think we also have one more Instagram photo.
Oh boy.
Who's
Who
it
is
gonna be?
Who
I
is
think
it?
I think it might be, from my notes here, Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah.
Pop sensation.
Look, Ariana gets a horrible reputation for being like queen diva.
Yeah.
You know, like she's like, I only want green M&Ms in my back room, and you know that kind of stuff, right?
I'm
Like,
exactly the
all
same
these
way.
crazy artist demands, but. And I've heard some bad stories. To me, she was sweet as pie. I couldn't ask for anyone better. I told her, I was like, damn dog. I was like, you got a crazy singing voice, you know. And I kind of sound like a dorky fan, but I was like, I really like your singing voice. And she was like, oh, thanks, you know. So she was super sweet. Couldn't say enough great things about her. But yeah, that was awesome. That was last summer, and then we went swimming after that. By the way, we're
Oh,
at a
cool.
pool party. So.
Nice.
Oh.
Going to a pool party with Ariana Grande.
I know,
Perfect,
right?
Great.
Yeah. So it's funny. I never get to tell these stories, so I don't know why. my family never asks.
All right, so do you have any like big events coming up that you want to highlight?
Yeah. I mean, we got tons of cool events. Let me think. Valentine's Day. We got a bunch going on. We got Dragonfly Gala. So like that night, we're actually raising a bunch of money for this awesome organization called Dragonfly. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but basically they take like all the kids who come into Cincinnati that are battling a lot of illness, and they take them to where there's other kids that are battling similar illnesses, and they all play together in the controlled environment. It's very safe. It's a great organization. So I'm doing a fundraiser gala for that on Valentine's night, and then kind of keeping with the charity angle, but completely opposite, is over in Newport on the same Valentine's Day, we're doing a Cupid's Undie Run. So if you see a bunch of crazy people running around in underwear, trust me, it's a great organization. We're raising it for children with cancer. We got this whole great organization on, but it might get a little goofy if you see some of it.
That's insane.
We call it,
We'll take note of that, I guess. If you're down in Newport, don't panic. Yeah. So what is the weirdest thing that has happened to you on air?
The weirdest thing.
Or, like the weirdest thing anyone's ever said.
How
on
much
radio?
time do you have? Because I got a really crazy story. but
we're here.
Okay, so this was a couple years ago. I'll highlight the year. I'll date myself in my age. This is 2006. I'm in Panama City, Florida, and I'm filming this. Or all of a sudden, this reality crew comes into my studio. And they're like, "We want to break a new artist on your station." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." So, blah 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 blah. They bring in this guy. I'm on the air live. They hand me this CD. This was and I'm assuming my boss heard it. He didn't hear it. So I played the CD, and it's the worst song ever. And the guy is in front of me. The artist is in front of me. And he's all disheveled. He has like long hair, a beard, and he's playing like this rap song, and it's just awful. And I'm just like, this is the worst song I've ever heard. And I basically told him that on the air, right?
Oh, wow.
Well, and this is 2006. Now, let me fast forward. So that's a very important year because 3 years later, The Hangover comes out. And that guy who was all disheveled in my studio was Zach Galifianakis.
No way.
And so I was just like, what? And he was going by this name. He was called The Finger or something like that.
Oh, God.
And so in the reality show was this TV show on Comedy Central that never got aired called Man Bites Dog or something like that.
I think I've read about that
Yeah,
somewhere.
and it's like it was a TV show. They filmed one season and it never went anywhere. But yeah, so that was kind of a crazy random moment. Was Zach Galifianakis played me this song, and I didn't know Zach Galifianakis. Nobody knew who that was at the time, and so now I see I like YouTubed it. I was like, I wonder what ever happened to The Finger, and I typed in The Finger, and then it's like you get this weird song. But anyway,
That's
so
insane.
that was kind of a crazy story. So that was one of those stories that was like a delayed reaction. So it happened, and then like
And then
didn't-
realize.
then the punchline didn't come till like 10 years later.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
insane.
it's kind of funny.
That's crazy.
That's the craziest story I think I can come up with. I got other ones, but we'll stop with that one for now. So.
So when you're out and about, do you ever get recognized because you're on the radio? People don't really see your face.
Right, but I do get recognized sometimes. Like tonight, I'm going to Xavier, so I host the Xavier Musketeers games, the in arena. So it's like follow the X on the screen and all that stuff, right? So that's me. I'm that guy. So it's funny. It's like people don't recognize me from the radio per se, but they'll be like, "You're the Xavier guy." I'm like, "Yes, that's me. I'm the Xavier guy." So every once in a while, I'll get that, but nothing to no showstoppers, you know.
Stop. So you never get like stopped in Starbucks and people are like, I recognize your voice, you're D-Lo.
I think
like that.
I think one I think if they hear my voice and then I say who I am, then they go back and say, "Oh, I knew your voice all along. I knew it all along. I knew the whole time." But they'll never actually come out and be like, "Oh yeah, I know you." So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I just had always realized. I'd always thought maybe there's a chance you get recognized.
right,
somehow in the broadcasting world.
every once in a while. Normally it's like I think that was the guy that cut us off, in the car the other day. Normally that I'm like, "Yeah, that was me. Sorry, I drive bad. Apologize."
So we're all broadcasting nerds here, and we kind of want to go into
Love it.
this field. So do you have any advice for people who are wanting to, not even just us, but just anyone who wants to get into radio?
Any
broadcasting?
chance? I was telling Veronica, right?
Victoria.
Good gosh, I'm sorry. What's my name?
Thomas D-Lo.
Oh my gosh, she even knows my full name. It was crazy.
Why?
Okay, good. I'm glad that I am horrible. No, I was telling her that any chance you can get, it depends what aspect you want to get into, but if you want to get into like TV, internships, 100%, any chance you can get experience in the camera, behind the camera, with the camera, any chance you can get to do that, 100% do it, whether it's shadowing, I know a lot of internships are unpaid, but any chance you can get into like a real TV station, like a local Cincinnati station here, cool. We're always having internships at iHeart for, once you get into college and everything like that. So that's the best advice. It's that, and then network. Make the best of your opportunities. So don't just get in the door and be like, okay, I'm here now. You got to find opportunities, talk to people, ask tons of questions, find the right people to ask questions to. So it's a tricky gambit of, because you could be asking someone the right questions, just the wrong person. They're like, I just get coffee for the news anchor, instead of actually talking to the news anchor and being like, hey, dude, how'd you do this?
Exactly.
And so finding the right people, asking the right questions, and then that's my advice.
I think we've found one of the right people. We can use this.
Oh yeah,
connection
just
to
keep
totally
using
break
me.
in.
Let me know,
Heck yeah.
and I want to get in the broadcasting industry too. So we can do this together.
Good luck to you, Mr.
Yeah,
D-Lo.
absolutely.
So,
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for
That's all the
coming
time
on.
we got for Highlands Talk Live today. We'll see you next time. really cool.